Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920 WGHQ, Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Pamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you. Mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. For more information, or you can donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. And good morning, this is Dan Gatiss, starting us up with this terrific Tuesday. And thank you for tuning in, being with us here, 7 to 9 a.m., as in every weekday as well. And thanks for being a part of the show. Tuesday, March 15th. It's about 36 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey there.
What's up, bruh?
Hello.
Aloha.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hola.
Hi.
It takes a lot of voices to create the sound of us. The Y welcomes all of them with open arms. From career readiness to safe spaces, the Y is there, no matter who we are. Now, more than ever, they need your support. Donate to your local Y today. The Y, for a better us.
Read by members of the Y.
Every 17 minutes, Make-A-Wish makes the impossible possible. They tame dragons. They bring Saturn to Earth. They help superheroes save entire cities. They even make unicorns fly. All to give children the strength they need to fight their critical illnesses. Every wish takes muscle. Help us make sure every wish comes true. Join us at wish.org.
Hi, this is Scott Harrington from Hurley, and I support Kingston Community Radio because the people need a place to have their voice heard, and it's lost in corporate radio, so please keep listening and supporting our station.
And you're back, and we're back, and you're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ, 920 on your AM dial, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Our call-in number is 331-9255. Call us, 331-9255, with questions and comments. Well, a mix of clouds and sun today and a high of 59. A little cloudier skies later on this afternoon. Tuesday night, the low is 35 degrees. It's getting a little warmer now, cloudy with a little light rain early. 61% of a chance of rain. And Wednesday, 60 degrees again, no sunshine along with some cloudy intervals. A high near 60. And the low on Wednesday night is 38 with a few clouds from time to time. And Thursday, overcast with rain showers, about a 50% chance of rain showers. Overcast with rain showers at times with a high of 57 for Thursday. And Thursday night, again, 50% chance of rain showers and a low of 42. Now, we're going to have a great breakfast on March 29th. Everybody is invited. That's at the Elks Lodge, 143 Hurley Avenue. All are welcome. Should be a great time. We're going to do our live broadcast remotely at the Kingston Elks Lodge, 143 Hurley Avenue, Tuesday, March 29th. Come down for a fabulous breakfast. We'll all have breakfast together. Cost is $10. Includes eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, coffee, and juice. All those great breakfast things that we do when we have our breakfasts together. 7 to 9 a.m. Okay? See you there. And this is a terrific Tuesday with Nina Postapak and Christine Hine. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
But I did hear there was a skiing trip going on.
There is a skiing trip going on.
That's where Cam went. Okay.
Yes.
Cam certainly deserves the vacation and the break and the getaway. He does so much for our community. He's involved in so many different organizations. And
absolutely, Christine, so true. And you know what? He has so much energy. Sometimes it's 7 o'clock in the morning, right? You're starting to get yourself going. And Cameron, he is like gung-ho right in there. And that's what he does with everything. So the Elks especially, and he's president?
He is, yes, it's
that
technically
what it's called,
exalted ruler.
Exalted ruler.
But yes, but for the rest of the world, it would be president. And he's involved in Kiwanis, and and he loves KCR, so he does so much for here too.
Yes, we hope he's having a great time on those slopes in Italy, and
he deserves
look
it.
Forward to it. Yeah,
well, I'm sure he will have stories.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. That's for sure.
Some he may be able to share, maybe a few not. I don't know.
This is true, very true. And the last time I saw you was Sunday at the parade.
Yes.
Did you have a great time?
I did have a wonderful time at the parade. The sun was out, and as long as you wear that Irish wool, it was warm enough.
Yes, it was. I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was a little worried about the cold, and I had my hand warmers, so they worked well. Yes, yeah.
No, I have a pair of green gloves. I whip them out once a year for St. Patrick's Day. I guess I could wear them all year, but I don't know. You want to preserve them to make sure you have many, many St. Patrick's Day parades in your future, right?
Absolutely, and I do too. I have my parade attire every year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It
was nice
great
to see the turnout. It was nice to see people out and about again, and
it wasn't especially with all the snow the day before. I was afraid that people wouldn't come out to watch it, or that maybe all of the people who signed up for the Shamrock Run wouldn't come. But the Shamrock Run had a phenomenal turnout, and that's so nice, because it was in honor of Tommy Keegan, and and then all the runners stay, and a lot of them watch the parade too. And as we're walking down, as you see the runners, walking back up the hill.
Do, yes.
So I think it was a great day, and it's a kickoff to spring. I do believe spring is on its way.
I think so, and I think this week is going to be beautiful, right?
Yes,
High 50s
definitely.
Into the 60s.
Yeah.
And nice tribute to Tommy Keegan. And I know you being at People's Place, one of the reasons you guys had a very close relationship.
Yeah.
And so it was nice that they did the after party, right, for the runners at Keegan's, because usually it's at the Roundout Center.
Yeah,
so that was a little bit of a change this year.
They had the Roundout Center also.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay.
So the runners could still go to the Roundout Center, and they had bagels and beer and water and I think cookies. And then I believe that's where they do the drawing for, I think they give a trip or something away. I'm not sure. I think there was some kind of drawing. But then also, of course, Keegan's had the big event up there, and they had the tent out in the parking lot again. So that's nice. I hope they keep it for the rest. Now that it's up, I hope that it stays up through the summer and fall, because it was really nice to look across the street and in the evening see people outside and hear the bands outside. I think it's nice for the neighborhood, and it's a nice crowd. I don't ever really think, it doesn't get rambunctious or anything over there. It's not, in my experience, it's been nice. They're fabulous neighbors, and it was nice that they did it for Tommy.
Yes.
I saw his aunt, Mo Keegan, Maureen Keegan from Bosch and Keegan, last week, and she had brought up, Bosch and Keegan made kerchiefs that said, memory of Tommy, and she brought us over some, which I thought was so kind and thoughtful. And I had said to her I'd been to work really early every day, but that day it was like, I don't know, 6:15, and it was sort of like I felt him, like I for whatever reason that day I pulled in, and I'm like, oh, he was so present, and I thought about, oh my God, but that's because I saw him every morning like that, and we'd stand on the street and chit chat, and then you just walk in, and it's so weird how you do that one day, and then the next day it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, the impact of that, and especially someone like him who's larger than life and so much a part of the community.
Yeah.
And you can see that in his legacy. You can see Keegan runners still.
It's true. Keegan Army is going strong, and keeping his memory alive as long, as well as an enormous amount of people. But I think that what he always said was, I think it was play nice, have fun, play nice, have fun, play nice, and I believe that's on the kerchief too, because he said it all the time. And I just think that that is a reminder to everybody that one day it's here and the next day everything is different. Right. And I think that's a reminder to everyone to embrace life.
Yes, and especially I think coming out of COVID, it really is more impactful than ever. The whole embracing of what you're doing, and even walking down the street for the parade. You know, of course, just like you, I've marched in the parade for so many years, and I always took it for granted. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't there. And St. Patrick's Day came and went, and there was no parade.
2 years,
Yes. And walking down Broadway this past Sunday, I said to myself, you know what? Embrace every moment of it. Because you just never know what the next day will bring. And I think COVID really brought that home to us in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, everything, the world is not every place in the world, but most places in the world were put on pause. Almost, people's lives pause sort of in a way, and it's nice to see everybody starting to, re-engage in life. And I was so happy for Harry that he finally got his J of being Grand Marshal. He did such a phenomenal job, and what a such a great human to have in our community, right? What a fabulous person. So it was nice to see. And they did make a really cute cover that had all 3 years, and the first 2 were crossed out. And then finally, 2022.
Yeah, that's a nice book.
Got to do the walk,
Good book.
Which was great, which was really nice. And then Pat Shishky, who, so sad, and we speak about that, right?
Yes.
She passed away during COVID, in between when she originally had,
December of 2020, I believe.
Right. So, again.
What a beautiful woman.
She
was just so wonderful. And so her family they made it in honor of the Pat Shishky family.
Yes.
And so they were all there, and they had a picture of her that they held. It was really nice, and I'm excited. I believe, and the mayor's going to come so he can talk a little bit about Mayor of the Day, because she was Mayor of the Day. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. I think her family will be there if they're still doing it at City Hall. I'm not sure. We'll leave that to the mayor to speak about.
We will, because he'll be here at 7:30, right?
That's it, right. So
while we have time, St. Patrick's Day is not over.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
Isn't that
right?
fun?
It's just beginning.
And there is a wonderful, wonderful spirit of St. Patrick's Day musical confab in place of the at the Wellness Empowerment Center, 11 o'clock Thursday on St. Patrick's Day upstairs at the Wellness Empowerment Center. Bring
upstairs
your voice.
At People's Place.
Yes, indeed, at People's Place. And so bring your voice and bring your instruments. Everything and everyone is invited.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is that your segment? You're putting that on, Dan?
Yeah, that's the time slot that we're taking a hiatus for essentially the month of March because of days off and vacation and things. But we're going to crank back up in the beginning of April. And this is kind of our little give back, a nice St. Patrick's Day musical confab. And I think there will be food downstairs later.
Yes.
Great,
food downstairs every day.
Yes, there is.
So it would be great to have, if you want a little Irish music, whether you want to join in and sing or play, or you just want to come and listen, everyone is invited.
That's right. Yeah, you can come and listen as well. Chime in however you like. Bring a tambourine, whatever, doesn't matter. And we will be providing the music. We have the music it's about 40 songs that we picked from traditional Irish music to share with everyone.
That's fantastic. That's 11 o'clock on Thursday?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
11 o'clock on Thursday at the Wellness Empowerment Center, which is above the Community Cafe, 775 Broadway.
Maybe the Community Cafe will have a little corned beef. Who knows afterwards?
I don't know. I don't know what Kim's going to do, but we'll find out, right?
Sure.
But you're right. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. The Chamber Breakfast is at 7 o'clock, I believe, right?
And that's always exciting to see.
It's so exciting.
Irish woman or man of the year.
Yes.
Right?
Last year it was Lenny from the Deet Stadium Diner, and it was virtual, I think, so that was a little bit. I'm just so happy for her. She's so sweet, and she's just so giving. Like they're just it's a wonderful, wonderful business that continually supports everything.
Absolutely.
That happens in this area. I mean, they're just so giving. So it was really nice that she is the reigning Irish woman until Thursday, when we don't know, will it be a man or a woman?
We don't.
So
that's the excitement of it.
Yeah,
right?
so that's at That's at Best Western, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
that's at Best Western from 7 to 9, or right around there, at St. Mary's Church on Lower Broadway, across from Kingston Catholic. They are having the annual St. Patrick's Day Mass, and members of the AOH band go and play. So that's always a really nice Mass to go to. St. Patrick's Day is after a saint.
That's right.
So it is
Absolutely.
a Christian celebration at its roots, so Catholic celebration at its roots. So St. Mary's Church does have a special Mass for St. Patrick's Day, so that's nice. If anybody is interested in going, everyone is welcome, even if you like to just come to the church and hear the music, because the bagpipes do sound different
In the church.
Don't they?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
It's a wonderful way to start off St. Patty's Day. It really is.
Yeah. So, and then, maybe something happening. We'll let the mayor talk about that afterwards.
Right.
And then there's all kinds of celebrations around town. You can go up to listen to the music at People's Place Wellness Empowerment Center, and then go find lunch somewhere.
Yes, there's so many different places. And of course, there's always those restaurants that you gravitate towards on St. Patrick's Day. There's always Hoffman House,
Yep.
who's known for their corned beef. And of course, Hurley Mountain
Hurley
Inn.
Mountain Inn has the
Yes,
corned beef. They do pounds and how many thousands of pounds of corned beef. But yeah, most places have
Yes, and that's just two of
something
many, right?
out there. Probably, I'm sure Old Savannah will have something. I'm sure everybody has something that
Has some kind
will
of-
welcome diners for
right.
lunch or dinner for St. Patrick's Day. If you have off, we're talking about everybody has off. I always take off that day.
Isn't it a national holiday? Wait a minute.
I know, right? Come on. I'm like, hey, it's a national holiday in my house. At least for me.
I get that.
My husband's always like, but we did those DNA tests,
Yes.
and he would always be like, because his Italian and German. And his came back, and he has like 2% Irish. Came on the DNA.
So tempted to
So,
That merits, that counts.
yes,
It
I'm like,
does.
ha, you are Irish. Get out that green. But I think,
excuse.
at St. Patrick's Day at this time, especially in
Everybody's
America, everyone's Irish. It's so different. The day is celebrated differently in America than in Ireland. But in America, everyone is Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely. So Thursday, put on your green, enjoy the day.
That's it. Yeah.
Whether
yeah.
you're working and you do something in the evening, or
Right,
if you're
right.
off for the day, enjoy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'd be great.
Take half day, go and celebrate, and I think it's going to be nice out. So
Yes.
how wonderful will that be?
Yeah, beautiful weather all week. And we were talking off the air on the way in about daylight savings time.
Yes.
So
If you haven't changed your clocks, you're a little behind.
yes, you are. So I read an article, Christine, and tell me what you think about this. So they're thinking of not keeping daylight savings time. So we will not spring ahead, fall back anymore. We'll just stay spring ahead. And they're thinking of doing it in New York State, and they are lobbying the other states in the Northeast to also consider it, and some of them are doing it. So I don't know how I felt about that. I thought about that a little bit.
That's so weird because I saw an article. It's obviously not the same one, but it was talking about that there's really no reason for daylight savings time anymore, and how there are parts, like we're kind of one of the only places, I guess, the United States, and it's one of them, Arizona or Nevada.
Arizona, yes.
Does not switch. They stay on standard time. And so I thought the impression was the article was lobbying that we should all just stay on standard time. Isn't that funny?
Oh, okay.
But I might have read, it's probably 2 or 3 different, maybe they're still talking, but that
Either
was the
way.
conversation that they're talking about. Either way, right, not changing
The time.
the time, which is a little screwy.
It is.
I
It is
don't
when you
know.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, do I like that daylight in the morning?
I
or
like- see-
do I like it at the end of the day?
I like it in the morning. I do. I like it when it's sunny in the morning. It helps me get up more. It's still light at night anyway, even if you didn't have daylight savings time.
Right.
But I don't like it when it's light at 10 o'clock at night because then I can't go sleep. I shiny at dark, but that is a true biological thing. Your
it is,
body
absolutely.
follows, we did for millions of years, we follow the light in the way the sunlight is, and when it gets dark we hunker down, and it really has only been how many 100 and something years that we've had light bulbs. And even if you think about candlelight is a yellow light, it's not as bright, so it really didn't mess with people's sleep patterns and their rhythmic. Of course, if Cam was here, he would know exactly what I'm talking about.
What?
And
And he
he
would
would
tell us.
chime in and use all the correct biological terms.
Yeah, absolutely. This is
So
true.
shout out to Cam, we need you.
Well, it's funny. I don't know who does this, except I did this. I went to Iceland in January one year, and so January, it does not become daylight there until like 11:30 in the morning, and by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's dark again. So maybe 5 hours of sunlight or daylight. I don't even know
Yeah.
sunlight is the right word, and it was a wonderful trip, and we had a wonderful time. But there is a definite difference when your sunlight and your daylight is reduced to 4, 5, 6 hours a day. So I do
right.
agree with you as far as the mornings. For me, I like the morning sunlight.
Yeah.
At night it's night. And
Right.
that's what it should be. But in the morning, it's so much easier to get up and start your day when that sun is shining bright or there's daylight coming through your window.
Yeah.
As opposed to that dark night. You feel like you should still be in bed.
I know. So was it really cold in Iceland when you went? Yeah.
And very, very snowy.
Ah.
Yeah.
I wanna go there.
Actually, it is. It's
Yeah,
a wonderful, yeah.
And did you see the Northern Lights? Is that why you went?
Well, we went, but we never saw the northern lights.
It was so much snow.
Yeah, we did not. There's so many clouds, but we had a wonderful time, and we did the Blue Lagoon and all those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was great. It's beautiful, beautiful country. And I'm not a winter person, so surprisingly, I didn't know how I was going to adapt to it. But it's wonderful, and the town is just amazing, and all the sidewalks are heated. So they're completely
Really?
Yeah, so there's no snow or ice on the actual sidewalks, which is amazing. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So it was a great trip. But of course, if you went in the summer, you have the exact opposite. It would be daylight till 10 at night.
Right, all the
which
time.
I think if I had to pick one over the other, the daylight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
But
great.
that's because that's natural, though, for them. How
Right.
how the sun goes, and sort of like in Alaska, where they have very, same thing, very few hours of sunlight in the winter, right? Like a
Right.
couple hours, and that's it.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah,
That would be a little. Well, everybody would have to have those little light lamps in their house.
they would.
Right.
They would.
I'd be needing to walk around with a visor of it.
The light coming down.
Yeah.
Oh, the happy lights.
What's that?
A happy light.
Yeah, they.
That happy light that it gives you the same light spectrum as the
Yes.
sun.
Yes. Yeah, and they sell them, and they say for people who have seasonal something SADS, I think they call it, seasonal
There
something
is.
disorder, and yeah, sunny. But now the sun's coming out, so everybody can just go outside and get a little sunlight on your face, a little natural vitamin D.
Yeah, enjoy all those rail trails that are out there.
Yes,
That
yeah.
during the winter we may not go on as much as we do during those beautiful months. So, and of course, I love every single one of them. From the Shokan up 28, I've done all 3 dikes, and they are great. Down at Kingston Point Beach, that one's wonderful. We could go on and on about the rail
There's
trails, right?
so many rail trails
Yes.
around here, and the one that is in Highland that you can pick up, you can actually, it connects from the walkway. You can take it all the way into Highland, and then you cross over and go through New Paltz, and then it brings you into Kingston. It's
Amazing,
it's
right?
all connected now, and that's really. I'm just gonna give a little shout out to my hubby because
Yes, you should.
he was that and the Shokan Rail Trail that goes
Yes.
all the way up. Really, that was he worked very, very hard for that. So
I love the Shokan Rail Trail. I use that a lot. It's really easy, accessible, and you can do certain portions. So
correct. You don't have to do all of it.
Right. If you're a biker, you can do all of it.
Right.
If you
I've done
just
that
like
from
to
one
do-
end to the other.
Have
It's
you?
22 miles if you go out and back from each
it
end.
is?
Yeah, it's 11 miles each way.
Okay, I always wondered how long it was.
Yeah, but it's not a hard ride. I mean, if you don't ride at all, I suppose 22 miles might be a little bit far for you. But if you're, if you used to biking and say you normally bike, 8-10 miles, you can do that because it's flat.
Yes, it
It
is.
has a tiny little grade, and of course you get the benefit of that whichever way you're going back, right?
Yeah. And you have the beautiful
It is
scenery,
beautiful.
And yes.
Yeah.
And different areas where you could see the reservoir, and it's just really beautiful. So even if you just like to walk, if you're a runner, there's so many things that you can do on the trail and really enjoy it. So,
And there's the one down by Brickyard.
Yes.
You can park at Kingston Point Beach and kind of cut through and walk down there. That's about, I think, 1.2 miles or something like that.
Yes,
I
it is.
think.
A little more hilly.
Yes, a little bit more hilly.
Right.
It brings you into East Kingston.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So it was funny the first time I walked on it. It opened right not that long after my aunt passed away, who grew up in East Kingston. And so
Okay.
walking on it, I didn't realize where it ended. So when we got to the end, I'm like, I know where I am. So I was walking with my friend Tracy, and I'm like, can we just walk this way? So we walked up the neighborhood and past the house that, I used to go to all the time when I was a little kid, and around. So it was nice. I'm like, oh, this is where this goes.
Yeah, that's
So,
good. Yeah.
so it's nice, and it kind of goes along the path that all the people who worked at the Brickyard. In my family used to be brickyards. In my Italian side of the family, my dad's Italian, and his family's from East Kingston, and they were all, people were all brickyard workers, and that's how they would walk, from there, and they'd walk the paths all the way down to where they were going, and that's, kind of how the brickyard path goes, or at least very similar, very close to the path that the men used to walk, every day to work. When you think about it, you're just like, we think we have it hard, but really, I don't think the majority of people could do it now.
No, I agree with you. We should have some signage there because, up on the Shokan Rail Trail, there's signage all along telling the story of the rail trail and so forth. We should really talk to the mayor about that. That would be great. Like you said, a little bit about the Brickyard and the history and the path that this is.
Yeah, because I don't think they do have that. They have that. They're going to put the park there, and they have some stuff about the upcoming park that is going to be down there. But it was such a pathway, and even right into Kingston, that so many newly, immigrants to the country used to use, and they were many of them. I can only speak from what I know, my family were Italian.
Right, absolutely.
And they all worked the brickyards, and those were the paths that they walked to work every day, to work their 12 hours and then walk back.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, we should really think about that. That would be a great
That would
addition.
also be maybe something nice for the Italian American Foundation.
Yeah,
to
right.
maybe
We could do
consider
something like that.
like that. Yeah. We have a couple minutes. What's happening there?
So I didn't realize you made me think of something. I didn't realize that you had Italian on your dad's. I don't know why. I didn't.
That's
so
how
we have to recruit you
I
for the
am.
Italian American.
My
Foundation.
Tracy and I joined.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
my friend Tracy and my friend Kathy and I, after the Italian festival
last year.
But,
fantastic.
COVID, by the time it happened, it was busy, and I had
Yes.
Christmas and everything, and you have a thing today.
We do.
Don't you? Yes.
We do.
Yes. Yeah.
But unfortunately, so I have to give a shout out to my
do?
husband because today is his birthday. So
Oh,
unfortunately tonight I won't be able to
happy
attend the
birthday.
dinner. Yeah. So eyes of March
Yeah.
15th. 66. So happy birthday, Dwayne. But yeah, every month there's a dinner. The Italian American Foundation does a dinner, and we try to have a speaker, timely subjects. Now, next month, I believe Gilda Riccardi, for those of you that know Gilda, will be speaking about how to get Italian citizenship, because many of us are eligible for that, but it's a process,
Yeah.
and she has gone through that process, or is doing it right now, and we'll speak to how to obtain your Italian citizenship. And each month it's something different. So it's fun, it's social. Membership is not that expensive. You can go right on our website, UCIAF. Just Google UCIAF, and it'll come up. Or Ulster County Italian American Foundation. And Dan just gave me the signal that we're at the bottom of the half hour. So hopefully the mayor will be here with us at 7:30. So Dan, you could take it away.
Thank you, Nina, and thank you, Christine. Nina Postapek, Christine Hine. And you're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, on AM 920 and 92.5 FM. And 7:29 right now, just about 7:30, Tuesday, March 15th, and 36 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. We'll be right back after these messages.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Do you know who that is? Who's that? It could be a clever thief impersonating Central Hudson, asking for your personal or account information, or an immediate bill payment. Beware of scam artists that can target you by telephone, email, or in person. Don't provide personal information to callers or open email attachments. Ask to see ID. If you're ever uncertain about an inquiry, contact us. Don't fall victim to a sinister scheme.
Hi, this is Cameron Rylance from Kingston, and I support Kingston Community Radio because it's informative.
And we're back, and thank you for being with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. 7:31 a.m., 36 degrees on this Tuesday, March 15th. And we've got a mix of sun and clouds today during the morning, giving way to more cloudy skies in the afternoon with a high of 59. Tonight, cloudy with a 60% chance of rain early and then becoming partly cloudy, low of 35. And Wednesday goes up to a high of 60 degrees. Sunshine along with some cloudy intervals during Wednesday, and without any rain in sight, and that's true with Wednesday night as well, with a low of 38 degrees and a little clouds. Thursday, overcast with 50% chance of rain at times, a high of 57 degrees on Thursday, and a low of 42 on Thursday night with the same 50% chance of rain showers off and on. This upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is being brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston. And again, a reminder to come to our breakfast. We're going to be broadcasting live at Kingston Community Radio and Elks Lodge, 550 Team Up for breakfast live remote. And that's Tuesday, March 29th from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. at the Kingston Elks Lodge, 143 Hurley Avenue. Come and join Cameron Rylance and Nina Postapek for a wonderful breakfast, including eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, coffee, and juice. Cost is $10. And again, that will be at 143 Hurley Avenue. All are welcome. Should be a great time. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postapek, Christine Hine, and our Mayor, Steve Noble.
Thank you, Dan. And Christine and I are back. Christine
Yes.
is filling in today for Cameron.
Yes.
So we're
Not
very
the wealth of
happy.
knowledge that Cameron is.
And we're here with the mayor.
Good
Thank
morning,
you.
both
Good
of
morning,
you.
Mayor.
Yes, good morning.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back. I enjoyed marching with you.
Yes, we had a
on
great day for
Sunday.
parade. A little cold, but sunny. It was great to see so many families out and about, and so many people for the run, which was fantastic.
It was great. And I always have to say, I give a lot of credit to your son. Because at that, how old is your son
He's
now?
11 now.
11, and he's been marching since
He
he
has.
was a
He's
little
like
guy.
4.
Yes.
Yep,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, so that's great. And now I'm sure he wouldn't miss it for the world, right?
No, and he had a great time because his best friend was actually the bearer of St. Patrick. And
Oh, that's
Samuel
nice.
Vasquez is our neighbor,
Yeah,
and so he was super excited to be able to spend some time with Sam that day too. And But yeah, it was a beautiful parade. The AOH did such a great job putting it together, and getting all of the sponsors, and the parade journal turned out really well. And I do want to just take a moment to thank my staff at the Public Works Department and the Police Department.
They did an amazing job.
Broadway was clear.
Yes, it was.
And it was great and safe for everybody to walk on. And even the sidewalks were a little slippery on the shady side of the street. But
you can't do anything about that.
No, but everyone had a good time and everyone was safe. And so that was good.
Yeah, they did a fabulous job. When it was snowing so much on Saturday, I'm like, oh, DPW has their work cut out for them. But
and
they
it
did
snowed
a
in
phenomenal
2019
job.
as well. And so we're, at this point, it seems like it's only going to snow the day before the parade. So we really need to change that. That is not a tradition we'd like to continue.
We don't want to bump forward, though.
No.
And the festivities continue, right?
They do this week. I think you guys were talking about Thursday's activities. We actually are having the Mayor of the Day celebration this year back in City Hall about 10:30 after Mass at St. Mary's. And unfortunately, the Mayor of the Day that was announced in 2020 passed away. But we'll be recognizing Pat Chishke's family on her behalf. And so that'll be nice to be able to do that in City Hall and to be able to open up our doors. People can have some stop by for breakfast.
And your staff always does such a wonderful job. They have, if you've never been, it's open to the public. It is, a public event. City Hall is open. They do a whole spread with all kinds of little breakfast foods.
Every department brings something different.
And
that's
drinks.
great.
And the staff does it.
Yeah.
Which I think that it's like you're going into someone's home and they put a spread out for you. And that's what it's like. They're so great. It's how many years? I mean,
I was just
been
gonna
doing
say.
it for.
Yeah, it's over 20. I think I've got the
decades.
plaque
I
in
can
my
remember
office, and we actually just finished the plaque. Pat was the last person on the plaque.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys need to get a new one. So they ordered a new one. And so, but yeah, I think almost 20 years.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
great
But you do
tradition.
a proclamation, and it really is a very nice event. So if people are off on Thursday and they want to get a little extra Irish on, you can go to City Hall. Right?
Usually
At
they get there
10:30?
between 10 and 10:30. And then we have a short ceremony inside, and then we go outside, and for a moment we raise the Irish flag. In
Oh,
front
that's
of City
nice.
Hall.
That's a
And the
nice
bagpipers
tradition.
play.
And they do, yeah. And I believe we'll probably have less of a contingent of bagpipers on Thursday because I actually think the AOH is going to New York City to actually march in the parade. So I think half are staying behind for the day's events.
They divide it up.
The other half are going down to the parade.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. So if you're, I know they televise it. So if you're watching the parade, you'll be able to see the AOH on there. That's great.
So it's a sign of spring. We're
is.
definitely excited to be able to have spring. It's going to be a nice week this week, and it allows us to be able to start, doing some of our construction projects that we've been waiting to do. And I know lots of people are waiting for streets to start getting paved and all of that. So spring is
It is tough, but you have to admit, we do live in the Northeast.
Yes.
Things freeze, they thaw. They freeze, they thaw. It
And
causes,
they break the road.
It causes
Yeah.
causes potholes, and it's hard and tough. But I think it's one of the crosses we bear living in the Northeast.
Very, very true. And I saw
To wait
that-
till spring to fix them.
Right, and I saw though DPW was filling, at least on in front of Governor Clinton and down on the avenue there, filling the whole potholes, and that was fantastic. That was great, and it's really made a difference just from personally myself traveling that road every single day. So you were able to do that in one of the breaks in the weather.
Yes, we were, and thankfully that stretch is actually on our list to get paved this year. So the area in front of Trailways.
They want to bring that up.
Nope, that's on our list. We're doing all of Wilbur, Abeal out to the city line, and there's a whole bunch of other streets that we're going to be tackling this year.
When does paving usually start?
Usually May. The blacktop plant usually opens around April 15th, and usually we can get in their schedule starting in May, and then we basically pave a bunch of streets each month going through November, which is then when the plant closes again. So, yeah, it gives us a relatively short season compared to other places where you can do it all year round.
Right.
We have a relatively small season that we have to get a lot done, but we do a lot of the prep work. And so our staff, before we pave, we rebuild catch basins, we raise manhole covers, so our staff actually has to spend a lot of time on each street to be able to prepare. So it's not just let's come in and pave and be done. So that does, and that's what our staff we'll be working on now, is to be able to get some of those streets prepped and ready. So you'll be seeing us out there and about this spring, getting all of that ready. And it's the season. And so when people see those construction workers and they see those detour signs, just think to themselves, this means progress, right? We have to get that moniker across. I know it can be an inconvenience, but we do really just want to be able to get people to recognize that with the inconvenience does, it's forward movement. So
I have something exciting. Now, you have
Great.
to be a history buff, and you have to enjoy history a little bit. And we're celebrating the 150th anniversary of the city of Kingston in May. So one of the things that is going to be done is a time capsule.
Oh.
And the students are going to do the time capsule. And they couldn't figure out where to put this time capsule. And as we know, the one that they found over by the bridge, because it was out in the elements and the weather, you couldn't save it.
Disappointing.
So they were looking for somewhere in City Hall to put this time capsule. And I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, because the mayor made an amazing discovery in City Hall, and that's where the capsule is going to go.
Yeah. So when we were doing renovations to City Hall back in the 1999-2000 timeframe, we had thought that there was a basement to the building. If you go back to 1927, there was actually a staircase that led down to the basement. Because that's how they brought the prisoners in. So when City Hall was built in 1872, from 1872 to 1927, before the fire, that's where the court system was. They had a holding cell. So our civil service office actually has bars on the windows. That was actually the jail.
I know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right?
Side note, it does look kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. It does. But they didn't want the prisoners to come in for the same entrance of the building as everyone else. And so they actually had stairs that led down into this basement of the building. Come the fire, the bell tower crashes through all the way down to the basement of the building. Stairs are destroyed, and everything is changed, right? So they get rid of the stairs from the outside. They redo the building. They no longer have, when we look at the engineering plans, there is no longer a basement on any of the engineering plans. And so we looked at the renovation drawings in 1999 that Bob Carey Construction did, and there's nothing on there. But we were like, we know that there was a basement. Like, originally this building had a basement. There had to be stairs. And so we had a small door in the hallway downstairs next to our copy room, and we were like, the stairs have to be on the other side of that door. That door hadn't been opened in 25 plus years. So we opened the door, and it's nothing. It's just the wall. And so we were like, we know that it must. It was
a little bit like Geraldo there.
We had the whole 150th committee there with us, and the door opens, and it was just a wall, right?
It was like Geraldo.
And so we say, we have to be able to, there's got to be a basement. And so we walk into this, the planning office has a big area where they have all of their filing cabinets. And so I walk around the corner, and I'm walking in the room, and it's carpeted, but I walk to the back of the room, and I feel something change in terms of the surface of the floor. And I'm like, wait, I think there's something under here. And so I bounce on it a little bit, and we realize that it's actually a trap door. And so last week and a half ago, we cut open the carpet, and we find the trap door. We open the door, and you drop straight down onto the staircase. So the original staircase that used to go up into the building is still there. And so we had to get a ladder to be able to get down in there. And we walked in, and the basement is only about the size of these two rooms now. Clearly it had been bricked up, and so there probably is more basement on the other side of the brick walls, but we didn't do that type of exploration. But we actually found a large walk-in safe.
I was going to ask if there was anything down there.
Yeah, and so there's a full walk-in safe. The door is completely rusted. It's original from 1872. And then there was a little storage area, and so we found some remnants of the construction back in the 80s when they were renovating the building, and it's been closed up ever since. And so we were excited to be able to unveil it, and that's where we're going to put the time capsule.
You put like a little message that's where it is, or do you have to wait for somebody to find it?
Well, I should probably leave a note.
I would say.
We should somewhere in some official minutes book in the clerk's office, because that will then make it to the archive and it will be forever protected.
This is true.
We should make sure to get that to you, so that you can keep it safe.
So 150 years from now, we don't have the mayor jumping up down trying to find
That's what I'm saying. Or maybe
trapdoor.
make like a little teeny plate
Yeah.
on the baseboard, like time capsule underneath or so. I don't know.
Agreed. We need to do a
When
better
long
job.
gone, nobody will know it.
Well, and that's the thing, even with the word
Wayfinding signage.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, even with the Word Street Bridge, no one remembered that there was a time capsule
That's
there
what I'm
until
saying,
they pulled out the cornerstone of the bridge and found the time capsule. And so, like, that's, again, we do need to do a better job of trying to keep track of where all of these time capsules are.
Well,
in the
actually,
city.
the whole basement is a time capsule, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I would assume it was probably pretty dry because City Hall is up on a hill. And I think that, it probably was pretty dry down there, huh?
Yeah, we were impressed. There was no mold, nothing of any,
amazing.
Nothing wet. And so
It's so funny because now I've been in City Hall. I can't even say how many times. I always thought, whatever you'd call, I don't know. Are you considered first floor?
they
You
call it the
consider-
ground floor when you
Okay.
walk in.
I
Yep.
thought that was the basement.
Right.
Like I just
Right.
assumed that, well, they built this is the basement and then, the first floor because you walk in and where your offices are in that main area, it's so phenomenal. And like, that's the first floor. I didn't think, like I would never have thought
No, right?
there was a basement under there.
And neither did the contractors because it's not on any of the plans.
Wow.
So it was very interesing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's great. And the students are actually going to do the time capsule, which is another
which
exciting,
students are doing it?
That's
KHS, right?
Yeah.
With
Yes.
BOCES?
Yes,
with the high school-
BOCES, I think
with
BOCES, yes.
And they're
Yes.
also working with us on our Lunette project.
Right.
The PTech program is actually working with us to help restore 2 missing lunettes. That are, if you go into Common Council chambers, you'll see 2 blanks, and that were never restored. And so we're working on that project as well as part of the 150th.
those of you who are listening, and the lunettes are what
Didn't
go
just say
up around the Common Council room, and they depict different points of history for the city of Kingston. And at the time of the renovation, all of those came down. Many of them went back up, but there were a few that were missing. We were able to do one for Ed Ford a few years ago, which was fantastic, with the Native Americans and the British in the treaty, and that lunette is now up, and that was in honor of Ed Ford. And now the other 2 are being done by the BOCES students. And I think what's phenomenal about that, Mayor, is that what happened was because of that project and because they're doing it through the BOCES students, they actually came to the archives, and now they have this interest in the history and what's happening, and that's wonderful when you see it with the youth and the high school students and so forth. So the whole 150th celebration is really pulling in so many different people from so many different areas, and it's wonderful when you get the students involved.
Which is nice because hopefully some of these students that are doing it now will be around for the 200th anniversary. Like they'll stay in Kingston, they'll work, and
Yes.
they'll be like, oh, I was a part of the 150th. Like, and maybe you never know, maybe they'll be called into a radio show or whatever they're doing to broadcast things and 50
In
years
those
from
days.
now, and be able to talk about their experience.
And maybe someday they'll want my job, because I think
never
that,
know.
one of the things is that when
Yes.
I was a student at Kingston High School, we actually worked on the original Lunette project when they were renovating the building in
Oh, really?
1999. So T.R. Gallo worked with a group of students to be able to help write the plaques, to be able to research each of them, to be able to get the history.
And did you work on that?
We did.
You did,
And
yeah.
TR actually brought me up into the unfinished bell tower when the building was a disaster still. And, it was really, I think it's one of the things that helped inspire me to want to do public service, was to be able to volunteer our time as high school students to be able to help the city. And it's great to be able to come full circle, to be able to.
That's a great story.
Also helped
is,
do the
see?
burning of
Yeah.
Kingston.
Beautiful story.
That was another high school project that we worked on when we did the first burning of Kingston back in the early 90s.
Oh, really?
So what class was it that you were working on these
Student
projects?
government.
Student government.
Yeah. And the student association. And so it was really great. And now these students, I think, are going to be able to have this opportunity because we've also been able to renovate the building too. The tower is currently under repair, so it stops leaking. And a lot of the water that was coming into the building was actually damaging the lunettes. And so if you've been in Common Council chambers in the last 10 years, the paint was peeling behind the president of the Common Council's desk. Those 3 lunettes were damaged. And
are they going to be able to fix them?
They're fixed.
Oh, they are.
They are fixed, and they look fantastic. They've
Oh,
all been
great.
repainted, they've been replastered, and they really came out really great. And and the tower repair is almost done as well. And so by the time we get to the 150th celebration, we should have hopefully no scaffolding, knock on wood, on the building. It's going to be close. But again, we're happy to be able to see, money going into the building to be able to make sure it's here for another 150 years.
Do you have a date for that for those listening that want to participate?
So it's May 13th is the beginning of the celebration. It is really going to be a kind of a full year celebration with a variety of different events throughout the year that are, but on May 13th, there's actually going to be kind of a reenactment of what was done to be able to bring the 3 villages together. So the village of Wilbur, the village of Roundout, and the village of Kingston coming together and deciding. And we actually were able to get from the archives the minutes from the 1872 meeting. In my State of the City address this year, I actually was able to reference that State of the City that Mayor Lindsley did in 1872 as the first mayor. And so we've really tried to pull in all of the different aspects of the history, and but to just be able to see and hold that book from 1872,
right, absolutely.
And to be able to have that history. And so we're going to basically recreate the meeting. And so we're really excited about that. And many people in the community are involved and engaged, and it's going to be open to the public. And it's just again, the beginning of a really fun time.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to see if my mother has stuff. Her grandfather, yes, my grandmother's father, was an alderman for the city. Because back in, I don't know if it was like the late 1800s or the early 1900s, something like that. And I think she had like his picture or something. She has the stuff from my grandmother. But so it's so interesting. I think Kingston is so incredibly interesting. There's so much history in so many different areas that they kind of have a little grip on. So as you follow the whole United States history, we kind of plod along right along with it.
Yes, and we were really the forerunners of that because we were the first, right? We were settled first, and we created the government and so forth. It's really wonderful, and it's great when like the mayor embraces that history and really encourages people to move forward with it because. You were just talking about the book, right? And those minutes and so forth. I think about like 150 years from now. So everything now is on the computer, right? The minutes are on the what you hold that book, you see that written word. What will it be like? And I can't imagine. I just don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
I think it's hard. I don't think it's going to have the same feeling, and maybe it will, but there's just something about being able to know that, when there was just so much time taken back then to be able to preserve, what was done.
Yes.
And I feel like now, like with one click of a button, you've deleted,
Right.
somebody's work. And I think that's what's really different about how we kind of keep track of things today.
In some ways, it's so great because they take hard copies, or even if it's electronic, then you can save it to other files and you have backups. So hopefully it's not all deleted. I mean, that's one of the main things that you do in your office as a clerk is to preserve and digitally back up everything that has been through the county or photos and things like that. But you're right. Like I know now, like, I have my phone. And I'm like, I can't lose my phone. I mean, it's backed up to my cloud, whatever that means. I don't know. But I'm walking around with like 10,000 photos on my phone. But when my son was really little, so he's 22 now, like I have pictures from when he was a baby, and you look, or like when we were little, and like, oh, look at this photo, and there's only like, so few from when we were kids, but they seem more special.
They
than
do.
scrolling
They
through.
do.
Oh, look, I mean, it's fun. Oh, look at this picture. Remember this from 10 years ago. But when you dig out those photo albums or you look through the boxes just with the old photos in it, I reference my mom again because she has like photos from my grandmother from the early 1900s, and they're so cool. But I agree with you. Mayor, it's very different to hold this picture and talk about, like, can you believe they rode that car? How did they get up to Mohawk in 1910? Blah, 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 or 25, whenever it was. But how are you going to do that on, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting to see what the future brings.
And I think it's just going to be a whole lot harder for future clerks.
I do too.
It's just going to a deciding what to preserve and what not to preserve, and
and how to
preserve them. It's a whole different world.
It really is, which is amazing. But and it's like Christine was doing the history of People's Place, and
so hard,
right?
We're still doing it.
We had the actual articles and the actual pictures from the Daily Freeman that we were able to pull out.
So great.
Yes, and I don't know, and you're right, Mayor, I don't know how you'll preserve that in the future. How now newspapers, I don't know how they preserve their news stories, their pictures. It's all digital. Who has the ownership of them? It's really interesting. It's a whole nother avenue of record keeping and history and
It's supposed to be easier, but it feels a little scary, but I suppose moving forward always feels scary.
It does.
And if nothing else, we just revert to keep using time capsules.
There you go.
We'll just bury them everywhere.
But you're talking about that, and maybe that's something we should do at People's Place because this is our 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Do a little time capsule in the basement. Didn't think of that. See, Mayor, you are so smart.
That's why he's our mayor. There you go. So now we took up your whole half hour.
Good.
So maybe we have 5 minutes left. If there's anything that you want to fill everybody in on, that's happening in the city.
Sure. I think one of the things that we have been really excited about is our housing work. And so we have been doing some really great work with a lot of our partners on housing. And so just tonight I'm going to be on my Kingston radio show. I'm talking a little bit about some of our housing work in Kingston because it's the number one issue that we see. And so we just received, because of the federal rescue aid, of about $17 million in aid. And so about $4.5 million of that we were putting aside to be able to help with housing issues. Just over $1 million we're setting aside to be able to help with nonprofits. Just over $1 million to be able to help with our local businesses that weren't able to get the assistance that, with all of the other federal relief programs and some other pinpointed ways that we can help create jobs. And so that's really one of the things that we're going to be talking a lot about over the next couple of weeks. We actually have a public hearing and presentation on Monday night. It's going to be all virtual. Our consultants are going to come in and talk a little bit more in detail about the $17 million plan. But once approved, we're going to be able to start allocating that money out. Similar to the county also received just over $34 million. They just released recently their nonprofit support program. And so, we're going to try not to be redundant, but in some of those areas, we do need to continue to put more resources because we want to be able to just make sure that, there's still folks out there struggling, because of so much that has changed due to the pandemic. And one of the biggest things has just been housing prices and rent prices, and, not having access to buying a house, things like that.
You're going to do little tiny houses?
We are.
So
yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight too, is that we have 2 locations that were city-owned lots that each used to have a house on them a long time ago that have been vacant for years. So 78 Franklin and 81 Cedar Street. And these are going to each be able to have 2 tiny houses on them, so a total of 4. And this is in a partnership with Family of Woodstock, who's working with Tom Struzeri. They have a company that builds tiny homes, in addition to everything else that they do.
He does.
And their family does. And so we're really excited to be able to kind of create this transitional space. And it's designed for kind of single heads of households that have children. And many of them have come through either families' homeless shelters, through their battered women's shelter, or through other programs where they are at the risk of being displaced from our community. And we just don't want to see families, broken up. We don't want to see families moving to motels outside the area. And so we're excited to be able to get them in the ground this year.
So will they be like their a permanent home for them? Like they will have ownership of it, or is it like a rental that they do?
It's going to be
family?
rental through family, and our goal is to have folks not stay more than 2 years.
Okay.
To be able to kind of have family be able to provide the wraparound support to be able to then get them into more permanent housing here in Kingston. And so, and then that will then free up the space for another family to come in. And so, again, it's a pilot.
Stone, which is great.
It's a stepping stone. And it, again, most of them will be 2 bedrooms and full heat, hot water, all of the utilities, and we'll really be able to, we're going to leave some green space on each of the lots so that the kids have a play place, on each of the properties. And again, they're not huge, but again, it's something that is a new concept, and we think that if this works, we'll be able to do it in other places.
The nice thing is they will have city sewer and water too, so you don't have to worry about, like with true tiny homes, you have to do composting, and it's so this
will be like
is
a
nice.
regular apartment.
Yeah,
for folks.
yeah, this right, like a freestanding apartment.
Yes,
that's great.
And you just have your own flexibility, and just it's a really great stepping stone, as you said.
Yeah.
Is there a component on the property? Definitely, the green space is very critical. Is there a component for storage? Because some people will have a problem.
Yeah, and actually, that's something that they've talked about, is doing some more kind of community-based storage for folks who, need some extra space for some of their bigger items. And there is storage, actually in these units as well. They're pretty good about kind of tucking it in here and there. But we also find that a lot of folks that end up, in family shelters, or they have, by now, because of all of those situations, don't have a lot of belongings, and so this is an opportunity for them to actually build kind of a home for themselves, and to be able to accumulate some of those and stop by people's place to get some of the really great stuff that you guys have. And so yes, but storage is definitely something we've considered.
This is a wonderful opportunity for folks, and it's kind of nice that they're, like you said, it's like an apartment, but it's freestanding, so you don't have to worry about somebody over your head or under you, and especially if you have children, kids have to play. It's
and walkable to great places like the Center for Creative Education, or walkable to the library, or to the Hodge Center, and to school at GW, right? So that's, again, we really wanted to have it in Midtown. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mayor, the half hour went very quickly. Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm so excited about the time capsule.
And we'll see you Thursday,
yes,
Mayor of the
we'll see you
Day.
then.
Yes.
Great.
All
Thank
right.
you both.
See you Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine Hine and Nina Postupak, and a very, very special thanks to Mayor Steve Noble for updating us in so many ways. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston is their main office. And thank you for being with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. It's 8:01 a.m. right now, 36 degrees on this Tuesday, March 15th. We'll be right back after these messages.
You care for the house, the kids, and our future. A Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now. Get free tips to help boost your retirement savings. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. Now it's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. Get free tips to help boost your retirement savings now at aceyourretirement.org/Shiro. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Eleanor Arrow from the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And we're back. You're here with us at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. and streaming online at mykcr.org. This upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Robert Baum Commercial Realty, located at 79 St. James Street, Kingston, New York. Visit rgbaum.com for more information. And Kingston Community Radio and Elks Lodge 550 team up for Breakfast Live Remote. This is going to be Tuesday, March 29th, the last Tuesday of March, and it'll be exactly at 7 to 9 a.m. Cost is $10. Breakfast includes eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, coffee, and juice. Sponsored by the Elks and other members of Kingston Community Radio. Kingston Community Radio will be broadcasting live that morning with Cameron Rylance and Nina Postjapak doing their normal show from that location. So come have breakfast with us. Join us on March 29th from 7 to 9 a.m. at the Kingston Elks Lodge, 143 Hurley Avenue. 143 Hurley Avenue, and all are welcome. And please come and have a good time with us. And and then let's get back to the on-air studio now. Let's see if we have any birthdays and who our new guest is with Christine Hine and Nina Postjapak.
My wife plays penny slots.
Oh, we're back.
We're back on. Hey.
Oh, my goodness. And it's that birthday hour, Christine.
Yeah, we'll do a couple birthday shout-outs.
Yes, because we don't have any birthdays in the folder.
I know, because I was remiss in sending mine in, too.
Yes.
But so I know you're ready.
Oh, yes. I had to say happy birthday to my husband, Dwayne. Today is his birthday, March 15th. Always in March. Great day for a birthday. And so we hope he has a wonderful day. So if you see him walking uptown, which he normally does throughout the day, please wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, and so I have two birthdays to give a shout out to. The first one is to Lynn Roddle. Today is her birthday. I'll be seeing her later on, and you'll have a phenomenal day. It's sunny outside, so she's going to do something outside. And then also to Kieran Riley, Melissa Winfield's son.
Yes.
And it's his birthday today, too. So I hope that they have a wonderful day together, mother and son.
So happy birthday to everyone. And Dan, how can people get birthdays on the air? Because we want to give away those cow pies.
Well, yesterday we had 3, so it was the luck of the draw. But sometimes people forget to send them in and all that kind of thing, right?
Sometimes.
And but you can always send them in via mail, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402, or you can email them. Gene and Lawrence like to have it in print, so email them at kcr921@gmail.com. That's the best 2 ways. Or see one of our illustrious hosts during the week.
Yes, and
Just
give us your birthdays. That's it.
I know we're provided many birthdays from People's Place.
Yeah,
practically
I like to send
a
them
few
all the
a week.
volunteers. Yeah.
Yeah, a few a week. Yeah.
Well, they volunteer and they should get a shout out. So.
Absolutely.
And I love cow pies.
I know there's a lonely cow pie at Boyce Dairy Milk House
today that no one is going to claim.
Okay.
So that voice you hear is Bill Forte. Bill, welcome. And Bill always has so much information about the veterans and what's happening in Ulster County because he's the man that makes it all happen.
Not really.
Well, yes, absolutely. You're very busy, and welcome back from your trip.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you back. So I see a piece of paper there with quite a bit of information on it.
We've got several things coming up over the next few weeks and months. The end of this month, March 29th, is Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day.
Yes.
That falls on a Tuesday, so our event will be on the 27th, Sunday. We're going to have a ceremony at the County Vietnam Veterans Monument, which is located in front of the National Guard Armory at North Manor and Kierstead Avenues at 1 o'clock. We'll have a ceremony, be the reading of the names of the 41 men from Ulster County who lost their lives in Vietnam. We'll have a rifle salute and playing of taps. And I don't have all the information, but I understand that the Like Katrine American Legion is going to have an event there at 3 o'clock that same day. And I don't have all of the information other than it's at 3 o'clock. It is open to the public. There's going to be food, and I think they may have a speaker. I'm not certain. The man that was supposed to bring us the information last night wound up in the hospital with pneumonia. So.
That's horrible.
Well, I hope he does well. But
yes.
That's what I have on that.
So for people that are listening, the Armory, New York State Armory is on Kingston Avenue.
Right.
So you come right down Manor Avenue, right at the end there. You make the right onto Kingston, and and you can go at any time and see the memorial there, the monument.
Right.
It's really a tribute, and it's well worth the trip out to the Armory to see. But if you can make it, I've been to that ceremony and honoring the Vietnam vets. Again, what's the date, Bill?
March 27th, it's just Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Okay, fantastic. That's great. So please join and pay tribute to the Vietnam vets.
And if you're around, it's a free event. You can kind of go in. It's outside, but it's nice for people to show up because a lot of times, it's family members who have lost someone and or they were veterans themselves, and it's nice to see public support for all that they did to help our country.
Absolutely, Christine.
Oddly enough, of the 41 men, very, very few of the family members are left. They've either passed on or moved out of the area.
Well, when you think of the dates of the Vietnam
Be
War.
in their 70s, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works out. World War II veterans are in their mid to late 90s. The Korean War veteran is about 5 years behind him, and the Vietnam veteran about 10 years behind that. And local veterans organizations have taken a serious hit as time's gone on and people have passed because there's just not as many. We were doing funerals at one point, 3-4 of them a week, sometimes 2 or 3 in a day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's well, you told us an interesting thing a couple of months ago when you were on the radio in regard to membership. I didn't realize that people could join if their father or mother were part of the military. I didn't realize that before. So that's something too that people can think about. So you do not have to necessarily serve in the armed forces.
The auxiliaries are open, and the American Legion has Sons of the Legion.
Right.
My brother, who never served, he's a member because my father was in service, and
right.
And they can always use the help. We try to do a lot, but it gets harder and harder as our numbers dwindle.
Right. So an auxiliary member, they don't have to have any biological connection, do they? Can like say somebody off the street comes say, I just want to help. What are you considered?
They need to have a connection.
Oh, they have to have some connection. Okay.
If you go to the Kingston Veterans Association website, now I'm going to think of what. I'm trying to think of our website. I don't go to it. I just.
Right.
It doesn't matter, Bill, because all you have to do is just type in Kingston Veterans Association, and you will get it.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. You
Yes.
can tell my computer knowledge is rather limited, but in there it lists each organization and what the requirements are. Tells you when they meet, where they meet.
And I'm sure there's a membership application form that you would fill out. And
Well, if you make the meeting, they can provide you with that.
okay.
Or if you go to the American Legion or the VFW, they're usually open in the afternoons each day, and
Sure.
they can hook you up with it.
So if people are out there wanting to re-engage, we talked about that at the top of the hour,
Right,
re-engage with the world after COVID, and you're looking to help out, if you fall in any of those criteria, then, it's Bill's really saying there's the big need for help.
Another item, we have the flags are on order for the cemeteries in Kingston, and we've set May 7th as a date we'll start putting those out.
Yeah, people don't realize that the Veterans Association does that. And, it's a beautiful tribute. Memorial Day comes and the Mass is said at the cemetery, St. Mary's Cemetery, and you see all the American flags. And that's because of the veterans. And so how do you pay for those? Do you fundraise for those?
The city provides them.
Okay.
There's about 4,000 flags we put out.
That's amazing. How do you determine what gravesites get the flags? How is that determined?
The only way we know is if they have either a government headstone or footstone, or if there's one of the flag holders there.
Okay.
And one of the problems we have year after year, people for some reason take the flag holders home.
Oh.
Then we go and put the flags out, and then we get a mess of calls. You missed my husband's grave. My grandfather didn't get a flag. You took the marker. We have no way to know. There is no master list that says who was a veteran and who was not. It's either that flag holder or a government stone. It's the only way we know.
Do you do it in all 3 cemeteries here in the
We
city?
do it in Wiltwick, St. Mary's, Montrepose, Mount Calvary, the Old Dutch Church,
Oh, okay.
Mount Zion Cemetery. That's the one hidden off South Wall Street. In fact, we've been taking care of that cemetery for many years. We cleaned it out. We had approximately 20 headstones replaced that were busted, had been thrown down the side of the hill that they're
It's
on
so
there.
sad that people do that kind of stuff. I think that's probably why a lot of people take the markers in at the end because they're afraid. I can only speak from people I know who have relatives who've been buried in cemeteries. They take them home towards the end of the season because they're afraid people are going to steal them. And that's why I thought you were going to say that people call because their marker has been taken. Somebody moves it to some other
That
place.
happens too. We had a number of them stolen. Last year, I believe it was, the police found a cloth bag with a bunch of them in it just into the woods from the cemetery.
Why? So sad.
Well, a lot of them at one point were made of brass, and they were taking it and scrapping them at the junkyards. When Millen's junkyard was up and running, I had a deal with Barney Millens that if somebody brought them down, he required when you turned in scrap metal, he'd take your name, address, and it was required. And I had a deal with him. We'd pay him $50 if somebody brought the markers in, if he'd provide the information to us. And I think
And he gave you the markers back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because we never had that. It never happened because when they brought him down and he wanted that information, they got a little scared.
Word got out.
Now they're no longer made of the brass. It's not even. It's an aluminum composite. There's something else in there with it, and it doesn't pay to steal them, I guess, but they do anyway. I don't know. We had a fundraiser a couple years back. We bought, I think we bought 300 new ones, and it still wasn't enough.
Wow. Ooh.
At one point, they were using plastic ones. The plastic ones, when they would do trimming around the headstones, the whackers, they'd hit it and they'd shatter. And they just didn't hold up. So now we just get the metal ones. And we still need more again.
But that's a lot of work, 4,000 flags in the of all the cemeteries that you mentioned. So again, like you're saying, and how many of you actually do that?
We get a lot of help.
You do.
For that.
That's fantastic.
And that's nice.
Yes.
Not all of them are veterans that come to help.
Okay.
But there's a few things we need to point out to them. You need to systematically go through there so you don't miss any.
Right.
And even then they miss them. So we go back a few days later and check it out again. The stones aren't always in perfect rows. Sometimes the flag goes in the front and the back.
Get missed.
And then you run into the odd thing where there's a couple places where there's a family headstone and maybe 5 footstones there, and 3 of the footstones were veterans. And
right.
you put one flagger.
Right.
We try to give each one a flag. They each served, and there's just little quirks to it, but
Yeah, it's not easy. And that you do in May prior to Memorial Day.
Yes, prior to Memorial Day. St. Mary's Cemetery takes half the flags.
Oh, I believe that.
They take more than Montrepose and Wiltwick combined. The hardest cemetery to do is by far Wiltwick.
Yes.
When you have to go down the hill towards the tracks, and the veterans' graves get a little sparse in there, but you have to go down there to
So
find
many
them.
old stones too. Yeah. Do you have a number for each cemetery so you know I need
I know
to give
how many gross
for
go into each.
Yeah, yeah.
And periodically I update it every couple of years.
And if there's a family member who had a recent death in their family and would like a flag this year, do they reach out to you?
We usually leave a couple bundles at the VFW and at the Legion.
Oh,
And
okay.
if you go there at the bars, they've got them.
Okay, so those of you that are listening, if a flag is not on a grave site that you would like a flag, you can go right to either one of those places.
Yes.
Get the flag after May 7th.
After May 7th, yes.
Okay, and put that on your gravesite. That's great to know because many, like you said, there's no master list, so sometimes it's difficult. Or if it's missed, feel free to stop and pick up the flag and bring it to the cemetery. So that's important. Is there a phone number do you know the phone number at the VFW or American Legion, Bill? They probably can go on the website.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers
Okay.
off the top of my head.
They probably can go to the website.
But I think you said earlier that there's usually someone in the afternoons at the
In the
different
afternoons,
places so that somebody can just go and, knock on the door and say hi, and they're always met so gratefully. The people there are so nice.
Yeah, yes.
And the banners that we had up, we were trying to return the banners that we've taken down from the first 2 times.
Right.
There's still some at the American Legion. We're about to take them, just bundle them all up and stick them in storage somewhere. We've tried to call everybody who sponsored a banner
Right.
to have them pick it up. Remarkably, a lot of the phone numbers they put on the original application are no longer any good.
Oh.
We can't contact them. And there were hundreds of these things. There were over 500 of them, and so.
Oh, that's too bad.
And
So
they're at the American
you
Legion.
do have them at the American Legion. So anyone that's listening who may know of someone who had a banner up, if you want, again, like Christine said, during the day, you can stop by the American Legion. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help you.
At this point, you're going to have to rummage through them.
Okay.
Let's see, we have Memorial Day. We will have a parade this year.
Ah, there
great.
you go.
Mayor gave us a blessing on that. We've got our parade chairman, Chuck Polacco, is working on that. As in the past, it's not going to be anything comparable to St. Patrick's Day.
But it's a great
It's
parade.
important and it's nice that.
As I've said in the past, St. Patrick's Day, there's like 2 parades between New York City and Albany, and Kingston's one of them.
It's true.
Memorial Day, within 25 miles of Kingston, there's 8 of them. And you're all competing for participants and spectators. So it'll never be the same.
Right, because Hurley has one, I know, in the morning. Like different places have them at different times.
Across the river they have them, and
Yeah.
Town of Esopus has one.
Right.
The parade ceremony prior to the parade will start at 1 o'clock, and the parade step-off is usually about 1:30, 1:45, depending on how long the ceremony runs.
And it goes from City Hall up to Dietz Stadium. Are you
Right.
doing the same route
Right.
again? Yes. So right up Broadway, and then do you make the left onto Fair, and then the right onto Wall, and then North Front Street right into.
Right.
So anywhere on that parade route, you can.
Yeah, you can go and
yes,
watch and cheer and say thank you.
That's the most important thing. Say thank you.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot, right? That Memorial Day, people think of it as picnics and a long weekend and so forth, and and that's not the meaning.
Not
of
really what
Memorial
it's
Day,
about.
right? Yes, absolutely. So take time out to go, and like Bill said, there's many places throughout the county. Hurley,
Right.
Esopus, the city of Kingston, town of Saugerties, all having ceremonies, some having parades, to say thank you, like Christine said, to our veterans. So, so that's nice to see that's back, Bill. Yeah. And who'll be organizing that this year?
Chuck Polacco.
Chuck. Okay.
He's working on, I think he's got Joe Bush and Charlie Manfred, I believe, is working with him also.
Okay, great.
And the ceremony's so nice that you do at City Hall. We go every year. We walk down from my mom's, stand on the Kingston High School hill, and watch the ceremony. It's very nice.
I don't want to break it. I have hopes that we're going to have a good special speaker this year.
Oh, great.
Ah.
I still haven't got it confirmed. I sent him a letter. If he shows up, it's somebody that's near and dear to the area. He served in public office, but sticking with our tradition, he is a veteran also.
Great.
Which is wonderful.
So maybe next month on Kingston Community Radio, you can announce that.
Let's say
It'll
who
be
it
heard
is.
Here
That's
first.
it.
I sent a letter off to him about 3 weeks ago. I haven't heard back yet. and I think I'm going to follow up with a phone call soon.
Well, he's here twice before then, so if he doesn't know by April, he could certainly know by May.
Yes, that's
everybody
true.
knows, so they can come out and listen to the speaker and what they have to say.
And you know what's nice also? The Kingston alumni choir sings, right?
They do,
And
yeah.
I think that's so special. And every year, and they're under the tree. And they do a fantastic job.
They do.
Yeah.
That brings something else up, my final item here. From time to time, we do a public recognition dinner where we recognize individuals and groups that have done so much repeatedly for veterans in our community. And we had honored the alumni choir. They have done so many different ceremonies and things with us on Veterans Day, Memorial Day for many years. They have been recognized. Frank Guido had been recognized. Ron Augustine, Jim Carrey. A lot of people have been recognized. This year, we're going to recognize the staff of the Ulster County Veterans Service Agency.
Oh, that's nice.
Recently, I've had a lot to do with some of the drivers there. My father's receiving dialysis. They come out, rain, shine, whatever the weather, they get through. They've got to get them there. The dialysis is set for certain days, and there's not alternate days because every day of the week is filled. And their staff in the office, many veterans have gone there to get their benefits explained to them, to apply for benefits, to apply for medical treatment. They're the go-to people on that stuff. And in addition to giving them the information, the forms, helping them fill it out, they arrange transportation for them, and they're frequently overlooked. And we haven't always had a great working relationship with them, but as of late, with Mark Casapoli, he's the director there, things have been fantastic. And Mark is very involved in many of our organizations, and as are most of the staff in there. And we want to recognize them this year. So we have a dinner scheduled for May 20th, a Friday, at our VFW. We're still hammering out more details. Tickets will be available prior to that. I'll probably have that information next month. We're working out. The guy that we normally would use for the dinner is going out of business, like so many others, and we're looking at an alternate, and that'll help us determine the price and what the dinner will be. But it will be open to the public, and like I say, tickets will probably be available at the Legion and VFW, but tickets are still a couple weeks off.
What a great organization, great county agency to honor. I have to say, many times when you're navigating, whether it's paperwork or understanding or things that you may have to acquire, documentation and so forth, it really can be confusing and difficult to do. And I have to agree, they're always so very helpful and have been, in the past and presently. And they do a great job not only helping you navigate through whatever you may, paperwork-wise, but like you said, there's many services that are available to veterans. You have to find out about them, right? How many times, Christine, People's Place, how many benefits are available or services are available, but people just don't know about them. And you're the conduit that tells them. Same thing with the Veterans Agency. They're the individuals that let the veterans know. And Mark has a great ability of communication. He uses emails, web, Facebook, social media, and which is fantastic to get that word out. So that's great. Again, that's May 20th.
May 20th. It'll probably be a social hour from 6 to 7, dinner at 7, and we'll make some presentations at that.
You have a busy May.
Yes.
Oh, my heavens.
In addition to this, the weekend prior to Memorial Day weekend, we go around and we start out with a church service. I think we're looking at Immaculate Conception, 8 o'clock Mass, where the veterans come in with our colors. From there, we go to a brunch, which I haven't confirmed, so I'm not going to say where. But then we go to the Mount Zion Cemetery. We hold a service there. We go to Wiltwick, to the grave of Staff Sergeant Dietz, Medal of Honor recipient, hold a service there. Then we go to one of the city monuments. We do that on a rotating basis each year, service there. Then in the afternoon, along with the auxiliary from the VFW, we hold a dockside service at the foot of Broadway. to honor all those that lost their lives at sea. So
You do that every year.
every year. May is a very busy month for us.
Yes, it is. Holy
And you throw in a dozen funerals in there, and you can see why we need help.
Nobody needs to pass in May.
That'd be great. Then we could expand it to June and July. I'll give you a very brief experience I had with the Veteran Service Agency with one of the drivers. My father's not receiving dialysis, so the band goes over to pick my father up. And he's not ready. He's not outside. They knocked on the door. There's no answer. They got on the phone, called him, no answer. This driver's expecting the worst. He starts peering in the windows. He doesn't know what to... Finally, he calls me. Nobody told the poor guy that my father was in the hospital.
Oh.
And I feel for him, what he must have thought when he...
So worried. Yeah.
I know what I would have felt.
But look at how conscientious he was. He didn't just pull up, oh, he's gone, and leave.
No.
You know, he talk about going the extra mile to make sure, oh, is he inside? Is everything okay? That's beautiful.
It is, absolutely. You know, Office of the Aging, the same thing with Meals on Wheels. My aunt was getting them, and same type of thing. She wasn't home one day, and my mom was emergency contact, and they called my mom right away because they went to deliver the meals, and she wasn't there. And it's really reassuring to know that these individuals care enough to pick up a phone because, God forbid, there is a issue.
Right.
You know, it's really nice to know that they're there and they're concerned. So,
This kind of thing is very indicative of volunteers in general. They've already volunteered their time and their efforts. It shows that they're willing to go that extra step if they have to.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
They're special people.
Yeah. So, Bill, we're at the 8:30 already. So, please, and Kingston Veterans Association, go right on the website. All the information that Bill's telling you about, you can find right on their website. And we look forward to hearing about maybe the speaker at the Memorial
I
Day.
know, right?
Event next month.
Exciting. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thanks for getting up in the dark, right? We have to wait for it to start to get light again.
We do. All right, Dan.
Thank you, Nina. Nina Postapak, and we've got Christine Hine, and a major shout out and thanks to Bill Forte for all his work with the Kingston Veterans Association. And I love his jacket. Because I can read Kingston Veterans Association right on his back. He's facing me. It's now at the bottom of the hour, and you're with us on Kingston Community Radio, KCR, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, WGHQ. Tuesday, March 15th, 36 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston. And this last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Robert Baum Commercial Realty, located at 79 St. James Street, Kingston, New York. Visit rgbaum.com for more information. We'll be right back after these messages.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I'm from Copiague, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ 920 on your AM dial, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. KCR's talk radio, 845-331-9255. 845-331-9255 is your number to call. And this upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Rondell Savings Bank. Visit Rondell Savings Bank, always working for you and our community. They have branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, also online at rondellbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Kingston Community Radio and Elks Lodge 550 team up for a breakfast live remote. Tuesday, March 29th from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's a terrific Tuesday at the Kingston Elks Lodge, 143 Hurley Avenue, Kingston, New York. Cost is $10. Breakfast includes eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, coffee, and juice, all our breakfast favorites. And Kingston Community Radio will be broadcasting live that morning right there from 143 Hurley Avenue at the Kingston Elks Lodge. And that will be Cameron Rylance and Nina Postjapak doing their normal show right in front of you, right along with breakfast. So come join us on March 29th from 7 to 9 a.m. and really enjoy the morning. Kingston Elks Lodge, 143 Hurley Avenue, and that will be the last Tuesday of March, March 28th. I'm looking at the calendar. Oh, March 29th, sorry. March 29th. And so come and have a good time with us. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postjapak and Christine Hine.
Thank you, Dan. I can't believe it's 8:30 already,
I know,
Christine,
fast.
And guess what this half hour is? This half hour is when Christine Hine, Director of People's Place, is on our show to tell us everything happening at People's Place.
You get to interview each other.
That's fun.
Well, you can always jump in because you're a weekly supporter there at the Wellness Empowerment Center. So you know
that is one of the most precious gems in the entire city of Kingston. It is amazing what transpires over the course of the week there, with various therapies and various empowerments for finance and for health and all kinds of things. Just incredible.
I have something to talk about Wellness Center, too.
Excellent.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we have an event that is coming up, and it's free, just like everything, whether it's any class at the Wellness Center, at the community cafe, wherever, obviously the food pantry, it's all free. Free. And it's hard because we had somebody who wanted to do, and it would have been a really wonderful class, but they had to charge. They wanted to charge for it and use the space. I said, I can't. Even if you'll give us money to rent it, I can't, because we really work hard to be able to offer all programming.
And also, that's not the way the funding path goes.
Correct. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, I just don't, so everything is free. So it might not be free to us, but it's free to you. It's not free to us, but it's free to you. Bad business model. But on March 24th, which is a Thursday evening, we're not usually open on Thursday evenings. We have programming on Wednesday evenings at the Wellness Empowerment Center. But on Thursday, March 24th at 6 p.m., we are going to have a guest speaker. And his name is, and I apologize if anybody's listening and I mispronounce it, but it's Omowale Adewale. And he is an author, and also, he's the author of Brother Vegan, and he is also the founder of Black Veg Fest in New York City, and the co-founder of Liberation Farm. And he is going to come and speak. We're doing this in partnership with Institute for Animal Happiness and Lantern Printing.
So Institute... tell us about the Institute.
We partnered with Institute for Animal Happiness back in July, and we have the Happy Cart in nice weather. So the Happy Cart will be making a return probably sometime in late April or early May, and it's out every Wednesday evening. And our chef creates plant-based foods, or AKA vegan, for people to come and try. And of course, like everything else, it's free. And the point for it is we also have volunteers there to talk to you about plant-based cooking, and we have all kinds of information that we hand out. And it's really our way for a People's Place to try to get folks to incorporate more fruits and vegetables and grains into your diet. They're very healthy oftentimes, especially if you utilize the services at People's Place. They're free to you. If we do a recipe, we try to give parts of what's used in the recipe out at People's Place so people can go home and make them. The Institute for Animal Happiness comes. They are also a family animal rescue, and they are vegan. They teach give a lot of information about vegan lifestyles, but they help us out with the food part of it, and they're there to give some information. So that is how we connected with Omawali, and he is a speaker also that goes around the country. He's extremely well known, and it really is a pleasure to be able to offer this at People's Place. So it is a free evening. We will have food there. It will be all plant-based, but it's open to the public, and food will be part of the event. It's at 6 p.m. at the Wellness Empowerment Center, which is located above the Community Cafe, and he will be there speaking about the benefits of eating plant-based. And I think that it's so important for folks, even if you only eat a meatless meal or a plant-based meal, really, not just meatless, once a week, they show how it will help your body. So it's really just People's Place way of reaching out to help, families and individuals be healthier. It's part of our mission at the Wellness Empowerment Center. So we're really blessed to have this gentleman come up from New York City to speak. So hopefully we will get a group of folks that will be there. We're probably going to limit it to 50, just because it is inside, and we are still conscious of making sure that everybody is, not too crowded with just coming out of COVID and everything that meant. So if you're listening, you're more than welcome. Come on over.
What a great opportunity.
It really is a special opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. And to have him come to our community and to speak. And when you talk about that, Christine, and about plant-based recipes and menus and so forth, all of us struggle at times to try to eat healthy. You try to put the grains in there. You try to put all those fruit groups in there. And, and it's difficult at times. So to have someone like this come and speak and really probably give you some pointers, some hints, and different things that you can do in your own household to make it a little bit easier. That's great. So that's next Thursday at 6 o'clock.
It is next Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Wellness Empowerment Center. So, which of course there's things happening at the Wellness Empowerment Center every day. And you can go to our website, peoplesplace.org, and click on Wellness Empowerment Center. There's a drop down. There's a calendar that shows all the classes. And you can just register right online by clicking a button. It's very, very simple. Fantastic. If you are not, if you're listening and you're not especially computer savvy, Fatima, who is our facilitator there, does a board, and we put that at the community cafe so you can see what classes are coming up for the week. And we also have one at the front as you walk into the thrift store and food pantry, so you can check those out so that you know the times, and you can just come. If you're not savvy at signing up, you can either just show up. I will say, if it's too many people, you may not be able to stay, but mostly, I would say 90% of the time, we try to fit everybody in. Or you can also go to Information Station, which is right inside of People's Place, and one of the volunteers there will help you sign up. They'll just do it on our computer right at the desk. So there's lots of ways to make sure that if you want to attend a class, you certainly can.
And there's something exciting happening at the Wellness Empowerment Center on Thursday at 11 o'clock, right?
There is. Let's hear a little bit about that.
All right. Okay, let's go for this. Okay, now we have a fantastic spirit of St. Patrick's Day music confab. Many words can explain it. But what it is we've got at least 40 songs to follow along with, and they're all what we call Irish trad, traditional, for the most part. They are well known, and chances are if you come, you probably will recognize at least a dozen of them.
Are you doing Danny Boy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think we have the lyrics with it, but I think there's a lot of people that know them.
I think so.
So come and bring your voice. Come and bring your voice and your instruments of all kinds. Your fiddles and your guitars and your banjoleles and your tambourines and percussion instruments, and let's have a ball. That'll be this Thursday at 11 o'clock.
And if you don't have an instrument, you can still come and
Absolutely.
join in singing.
Thank
and
you,
if you don't
Christine,
like
yes.
to sing because you can't carry a tune,
I know
that might be
someone like
me.
that.
You can still come and enjoy listening and clap.
We'll work on
and,
that, Nina.
you know.
Okay, we got to work on that.
We have to work on that.
Everybody
I
can
don't
sing. Everybody can sing.
I'm in the I'm in the rowboat with you.
We got to work on this.
That's great, though. That's great. So that's
actually
Thursday at
that's
11.
actually a good subject for an upcoming Love of Sound workshop. Is getting used to being able to sing.
I like to sing. People
of,
just don't like to listen to me sing.
With you, Christine, all alone. I can listen
we
to
can
music
can
and
work
sing
on that.
along.
Everybody can sing. I really do mean it. Yeah.
So true. That was so
Anyway.
true.
It's a matter of how you're listening. That's all.
That's happening Thursday, and then we have this following Thursday. But the farm stand will be starting the beginning of May, so that will be on Tuesdays. But I'll give you more update on that in April.
And you have such a wonderful turnout for that. I know I have seen lines around the corner.
It's such
with the
fabulous
flowers.
produce, though. We're very fortunate to partner with the Hudson Valley Farm Hub. And all year, actually, they send us produce. Now, this time of year, it's starting to become less and less. But, through the winter months, we have the root vegetables that they harvest, and then they were able to keep. And so we're very lucky. But I think that's like such an important point to make with any not-for-profit. It's all about the partnerships. And People's Place has been extremely fortunate on the various partners throughout the community that help support everything we do and kind of work together, because no one person can do it by themselves. It really takes a whole fleet of not-for-profits helping each other and holding each other up to get the services out to the public that needs them. And I think one thing, which it might be a great point for those listening, to use People's Place services, they're open to anyone, and especially, for those that want to use the Wellness Empowerment Center, come and dine at the community cafe, shop in our thrift store. It does take the whole community coming in, participating, because when folks who, yes, maybe you can go, we'll use yoga as an example, and go take a class that you pay for at the yoga house or somewhere else. When you come and you participate in the programming, or you come and you dine at the community cafe, even if you can, you're not struggling financially, what you're doing is helping erase the stigma and keep the dignity for those who may be struggling, and this is their only opportunity to participate in a workshop or to come and have lunch or, a hot meal for the day. And so when everybody's coming together to do that, you're erasing the stigma. No one feels embarrassed to go because it's really, truly a community place. And I just think that's so important, because I do hear from people, it's okay, I don't want to take away from someone else. And I think what they're not seeing is that they're not taking away, they're adding to. They're helping to create the experience. And if you feel that strongly about it, then you can always make a donation to People's Place. We take, checks and cash in person. If you want to donate online, you can go to peoplesplace.org. There's a big donate button right there. You can participate in any of our fundraisers that are coming up. But it's so important to have the human beings there together, holding each other up. And I like to say, it's the community cafe, it's the Wellness Empowerment Center, but it's all about community. And, I say this over and over. In the word community is the word unity, and in the word unity are the letters U and I. And it's you and I who create our community and who are welcoming. And, sometimes the folks who need the support the most are most hesitant to come. And it's the same with the farm stand. It's open to anybody. If you think you're struggling, then do that. With the rise in prices of gas and heating and, just the world, what's happening right now. So you may have that $100 in your pocket that you can go to the grocery store. But if you come to People's Place and use the food pantry or use the farm stand or see what we have out at the bounty table every day that's right out in front of our store, and you use any of those products and produce, and we have produce and just everything, grains and cereals and meats, if you use those, then you don't have to use your whole $100 at the store. And you can use that money to pay for your bills so that you don't fall behind, so that you can sleep comfortably at night and not worry, is your electric going to get turned off? Or how am I going to be able to get to work because I don't have gasoline in my car? Right. So, we are open to anyone who is needing a little bit of help. It's not just folks who are totally struggling or who may already get SNAP benefits or any other kind of support from DSS. It really for anyone who feels that they need a little bit of, of support and of some help. For at least another week, it might be 2 weeks. I'm not sure how it's going. I'm hoping through the end of March. We've been working with a restaurant resiliency program that came through the government, down through the food bank, through us, and we have 2 restaurants who every day for breakfast send us breakfast foods, and for lunches also send lunches. So if you go to the community cafe, you can get the phenomenal dish that our chef Kim has made, and then you also can get a meal to take home and have it at night for supper. That is through support with Pink Elephant and Dietz Stadium Diner are helping with this program.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So both of those restaurants have been helping us so much and providing like extra every day. We did it for February, and it's going to go in towards the end of March, but it's totally still happening this week and next week. So
as I said before, I can attest to Pink Elephant. And we all know Dietz Stadium Diner.
Right, we sure do. We absolutely do.
But we love them. But Pink Elephant is a kind of a newbie around, right?
Yes.
And I will attest that meal that was provided for us from Pink Elephant was just amazing.
Yes,
and Pink Elephant
absolutely
is
amazing.
Where?
They're on Morton Boulevard, where the old TCBY was. So across from the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Is right there, and they're just such a lovely young family that has this establishment. She's immigrated from Ireland, and she's just a love to talk to, and they're working so hard. It's her and her husband, and they have young children, so they're really trying to they're living the American dream, right? What they say, and so if you're listening, stop by and
are the meals that they're making. Yeah, please stop by. That is an amazing opportunity just to try new foods.
Right.
Are they breakfast and lunch, dinner?
Breakfast and lunch. I don't know if they have dinners. I do know it's breakfast and lunch. I think they're open till like 4. But I could be wrong on that. But stop by and say hello and welcome them to the community and support them.
That's a nice place to land. Morton Boulevard is a real what do we say? A melting pot of many things. We've got the emergency animal clinic there that's open whenever all the other vets aren't open.
Yeah.
We have a great music store there. Plus, of course,
you could go get your instrument to come on Thursday.
That's right. You can do that.
There you go.
Get a banjo.
There you go. And then, of course, Dietz Stadium Diner, who everybody knows and loves, and so wonderful.
Absolutely.
But so we have that going on. And it is our 50th anniversary this year.
Yes.
So we are going to be doing a few events to celebrate our 50th anniversary. and I'll talk about that in April, though.
Okay.
So that my board and staff know. Like, I found a little info out the other day, and I haven't gotten a chance to share that yet. So we won't say that out on the radio until they know. But it's going to be extremely exciting. I think. But if you follow us, if you want to know what's happening at People's Place and you are computer savvy, you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. And I believe both addresses are People's Place Kingston. Even though we serve all of Ulster County, it was started years ago. But we post almost every day on Facebook. And for the month of March, we have been doing Women's History Month. And we have been posting every day a woman who has been a force for People's Place through our history in a leadership role, whether it be at the very beginnings of People's Place when it started with the seminarians in 1972, or on board members throughout the years. So if you'd like to check that out, come and visit us. I think we have a call. Yes.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi. I'd like to make an announcement. St. Mary of the Snow is going to be holding a dinner. It's a takeout. It's going to be on March 27th. It's going to be spaghetti and meatballs and sausages, and it's going to be Father Chris's famous tomato sauce. And Chief Sinatra also takes part in this. He's going to be making eggplant parmesan. It's $15. And like I said, it's a takeout. And where it's going to be done is at St. Joseph's in Glasgow at the big hall there. So I hope that people will take part in that. We didn't do it for the last 2 years because of COVID, but now we're doing it again this year. But this, again, it's going to be a takeout. It's not going to be a sit-down. So you have until tomorrow. I think they'll still take orders after that. And if you're interested, you can call the parish office, and that's 845-246-4913. Again, that's 845-246-4913. And I've had the meals, in the past, and the food really is delicious, and you get plenty of it, and you really enjoy it. So again, that's going to be on March 27th. And it's a takeout at St. Joseph's Hall in Glasgow.
Well, I don't know anyone that doesn't love spaghetti and meatballs.
I know.
Right?
That's wonderful. It's so nice that you're starting it up again after 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for calling in, and hopefully they can make reservations until tomorrow, correct?
Right, yes. Yeah, they can call it in, and then I know they have to pay ahead of time, but they can always make arrangements when, they get the money to them.
Fantastic.
For it and stuff, so...
And I've tasted Police Chief Joe Sinagra's meatballs, and they are good.
There you go.
True Italian cooking there. So thank you so much, caller. We appreciate you calling in.
Okay, take care. And
thank you.
And appreciate all of you, what you do on the air. Okay, would you have time for a joke or not?
Sure.
Okay. This man, he's at the pub, and the bartender comes over, tells him, this is going to be your last drink because I'm closing. So anyway, he drinks it down, and he steps down off the bar stool, and he falls to the floor. So he holds on, pulls himself up, and again falls. And this happens a few more times. So he thinks, well, maybe when he gets out in the air, that will revive him. So he crawls through the door, pulls himself up, steps outside, and he falls. And this happens a couple more times. So he lives only 2 blocks away, so he figures he'll crawl home, and after a good night's sleep, he'll be better in the morning. So he gets home, and the next morning he wakes up, and his wife is glaring at him, and she says to him, so you've been out drinking all night again. And she goes, now, hon, why would you say such a thing like that? And she said, I want you to know the pub call, and they told me to tell you left the wheelchair there for the 3rd time this week.
That's great.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing us a laugh and a smile this morning.
Okay, take care.
You too.
You too. Okay, bye.
Bye now.
And I think what just happened is extremely important. This is Kingston Community Radio, and this is your opportunity to call in and talk about other things that that you have organizations, things that are coming up, you're involved in something. Give it a shout out on the radio. That's what we're here for. I mean, yes, we have different guests throughout the 2 hours that we're on, but it's about sharing what's happening.
Yes.
In the community. And it's also why it's important to support Kingston Community Radio, because we need a forum so that folks know what's happening locally.
Absolutely, Christine. And we're really the only talk show for people. And, even for our guests, when we have the mayor on, if you have questions about what's happening in your city, feel free to call. Great point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I think
that's what
it's
we're about.
Really important. You can visit us at mykcr.org.
That's right.
So that's
absolutely
the website, and find out information that's happening there. As far as People's Place, you can visit People's Place at peoplesplace.org and find out all sorts of information about the services that we offer, about the Wellness Empowerment Center. We also post the menu for the day at the Community Cafe. And
so that's on their
website.
daily.
It's updated daily. And, it just also, and you follow us, like, as I was saying before the caller, on Facebook or on Instagram or social media. That kind of tells you, like, more daily events. We were just saying how we're honoring different women during the month of March that have all been part of People's Place growth towards 50 years.
And when you think every day, that's 31 women that have impacted People's Place in one way or another.
And unfortunately, there's probably far more. And so
Right,
we were like,
but
what is the
still
parameter
31.
that we're going to use? Right. And it was that they're on the a board member that helped drive us forward, and because so much has happened from the formation of People's Place to the different moves and the different programming, and then us be able to get our forever home and those women that were involved in that very bold move. So
50 years. 50 years of history, so that's fantastic.
Many listeners enjoy People's Place Cafe.
Yeah,
they do.
We hope so. It's phenomenal food, and something to remember is it's made every day fresh. Kim comes in the morning at 7:15 and just starts cooking. So that everything's made
and she's
fresh.
ready to go at 1.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
So breakfast is served. It's a continental breakfast from 8:30 until about 10:30. You can still come in. We don't close the doors, but lunch doesn't start until 11, and so that goes until 1. And my suggestion, because of course it's like any place, you do never know how many people are coming or not coming.
Right.
That try to be there by 12:30, because what happens sometimes is people get there and the soup of the day is gone, or one of the sandwiches that she made or meals we've run out of.
Sure.
And because we are a community cafe, and she has limited things to cook with, just come early, come before 12:30, make sure that you get something that you would like. But it's important to support it, and by supporting it, like I said earlier, please come. If you could use the support, that's phenomenal. That's what we're there for. Please come if you can do the supporting, even if you don't donate. Just being there and participating in the process helps other folks.
Absolutely. And there's a very discreet donation box right at the end of the counter. Don't forget to look at that.
You can hardly see
it's
it.
Almost,
it's right
yeah,
there.
It's very discreet, and that's where you can put down your checks and cash.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, Christine, this has been a
oh my gosh,
great 2 hours.
All right, yeah.
Yes. Time flew, right?
Well, I'm happy to fill in for Cam, and I'm glad he's getting to have some fun.
Yes, me
Thank
too.
you, Nina.
Have a great week, everybody, and a terrific Tuesday.
Thank you, Nina Poshtapak, Christine Hine, and very, very special thanks to Bill Forte and Mayor Steve Noble for coming in, and very special thanks for all the callers that have contributed today. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you in the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, and also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Thank you for sharing the morning with us and participating in Kingston Community Radio, KCR, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. Talk radio at its best. Inspired discussions of, by, and for the people. And we invite you to keep up with us every weekday, 7 to 9 a.m. And until tomorrow for a Super Wednesday, we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Magic 92.5.